Welcome to the final season of FM22 Mercenary. The job market was unforgiving this summer, but we have found ourselves a new employer. Given the CV that we've built over the last decade or so of this journeyman, I thought it would be easier to secure a top job this summer, but very few of them were available. As far back as March time, we'd already been Joe-hearted to the Lyon job, and whilst I knew that we still hadn't built a reputation that would land us a job at one of the biggest clubs in the game, I was pretty disappointed when the interviews we were being offered were at clubs like Újpest, Dinamo Bucharest and Ludogorets. But fortunately, around late July time, one club emerged in search of a manager that truly excited us. So for the final leg of our tour, we're returning to a country we've previously managed in. We're back in Italy, where we have unfinished business. Not in Genoa this time. This time, we'll be in the capital. We're heading to Rome to take over one of the country's biggest clubs. Roma have already experienced their English Revolution, and now it's the turn of Lazio. Having won the German Cup, Leverkusen were keen to extend our contract, but Lazio came in with an eye-watering contract offer, and so the destination of our final club is confirmed, and Lazio offer us the chance to compete at the top end of Serie A, as well as in the Champions League for a second season running. So welcome to Lazio, everybody. This does feel like another slight step up. This is another 4.5-star reputation club. This time we're going to be playing in the iconic Olimpico, where we can expect almost 70,000 fans to come and support our boys. Some of these boys you may well still recognise, by the way, but we'll get to that later. Let's introduce you to our fixture list first of all. Today we're going to be kicking off our time with Lazio with a home tie against Brescia, but the big games are going to be coming thick and fast during the early part of our tenure. Straight away after the Brescia game, we're going to be taking on our old club Sampdoria. We're going to be travelling to their stadium, where I think they're going to be none too pleased to welcome us, given that we only spent 6 months in charge, performed pretty poorly before we jumped on a plane, headed to Istanbul and took Fenerbahce to the league title out there. But once we've got that Sampdoria grudge match out of the way, we've then got a home game against Juventus, followed by an away tie against Milan. So very, very soon, we're going to see what kind of shape this Lazio side is going to be in. And it's not an awful lot longer until we're going to be taking on Roma in the derby. We still share the Olimpico, so it's an away game, but one at the stadium we play at as well. And I think that could well be the game that we come back for in episode 2 of the final season of Mercenary. At Leverkusen, I felt like I stumbled upon the winning formula eventually, but by that time, a lot of the damage has been done in the league already. So at Lazio, I'm very keen to try and get it right from the off. So I'm going with a system where not too much can go wrong, and hopefully it will get the best out of our senior players, because the squad is thin. The first 11 I think is strong. There's a lot of experience in there, which is code for us having some very veteran players. Outside of the starting 11, we might be struggling for depth, so it's very important that we get the best out of our star players. Let's introduce you to the squad. I'm kind of thinking, by the way, that I'm going to try and prioritise Serie A matches and see the Champions League as a bit of a bonus. So where there's rotating to be done, it may well be done in the Champions League, where I learnt with Leverkusen, a squad that's limited in depth is going to find it very difficult to compete on two fronts, and I would love to push for a Serie A title before we finish this series. But let's run you through some of our star men. At a number of our clubs, we've been blessed to have a star goalkeeper, but I'm not sure we have that at Lazio. Michele Cerafalino is going to be our number one choice. He's 33 years old. He's solid, although he's only valued at around £600,000. In defence, however, I do feel we have some good players, although all of them are either approaching or firmly in the veteran stage of their careers. At right back, we have Timothée Pembele. Physically and mentally, he looks strong, and technically, marking of 14 and tackling of 13 will just about suffice. At left back, we will have a 37-year-old, and this time a fully fledged international, as Jose Gaya has won 56 caps for Spain. His deputy will be the far more youthful 34-year-old Matthias Wiener. And at centre-half, the ageing legs keep on coming. 33-year-old Dane Victor Nelson has 103 caps for the national team. And playing alongside him will be 34-year-old Serb Nikola Milinkovic. A familiar face in midfield will be Frank Kessie, who played for the Ivory Coast when we were in charge. But injuries will keep Kessie on the bench today, as in front of our back four we will be playing Dennis Reska, bringing some much-needed youth and vitality to the side. Reska can play as a centre-half or in central midfield, but we will be utilising him as a defensive midfielder. The player with the highest value at the club is Arsene Zakarian, another player with more than 100 caps for his country, but like Kessie, he's had an injury-ravaged pre-season. So in central midfield today, we will be playing Donny van der Beek, who at 35 years old might be more of a squad player for us, but he gets the nod today. And he will be starting alongside Argentine Jorge Rodriguez. And then we have a front three that I think could propel us towards the top of the Serie A table. On the right wing, we have our captain Ricardo Marcella. He brings pace, trickery and agility, as well as flair and off-the-ball movement. And on the left, another Frenchman in the form of Olivier Dachary. He could comfortably be our main striker, but has some player traits that mean he's also suited to being an inside forward on the left, vacating the striking spot for our starting forward Alexi. It was a surprise to find him in the club, as he joined from Bayer Leverkusen a few days before we took the hot seat. At our previous club, he was a bit part player behind Roberto Pena, but at Lazio, he's very much going to be the main man. We've been billed as fifth favourites for the Scudetto this season, so this is not going to be an easy campaign by any stretch of the imagination. I would have loved the job offer at Milan so that we could have cantered our way to hero status in our final season of Mercenary, but instead, it's going to be just like all the other seasons where we're going to be up against it and scrapping for every point that we can get. And after an impressive pre-season, I would love to start with a win today against Brescia. Let's introduce you to our opponents. Last season, Brescia were a Serie B club. Having been appointed in March, former Leipzig coach Domenico Tedesco guided them to promotion. Brescia have had a fairly quiet transfer window and will rely on players from Serie B such as Nicola Uva and Marco Borri. We hope to make a strong start in front of our own fans as Lazio take on Brescia. It looks like a packed Olimpico for this game. Given the summer we had and the lack of job opportunities that there were, we are very relieved to have jumped in at Lazio, by far the biggest club that were looking for a manager this season. At one stage, I thought I might need to take a year out from the game and start applying for jobs after Christmas to start at the beginning of next season, but I think to wash up at Lazio is probably as good as we could hope for, as we are still a 4-star reputation boss. It gives us the chance to play Champions League football. It gives us the outside of chance of being involved in a title race, but we're going to need to start strongly, and we're going to need to try and avoid injury this season as well. Being without our star central midfielder is going to be a bit of a blow during the early couple of weeks. We'll try and nurse him back to fitness, but we've got plenty of experienced deputies in the form of Frank Kessie and Donny van der Beek. I think if they're only to play 15 Serie A games this season, they would still be useful additions to us. And we've also got some quality up front, such as Ricardo Marcella, who's ghosted in on the right wing, has almost dribbled the ball through the goalkeeper into the net to give us the lead after 11 minutes. Pembele up at right back, plays the ball across, and there is the winger, and the keeper has got to be disappointed that we squeezed the ball past him from such an acute angle. Granted, only 25 minutes gone, but Lazio are already third in the league, ahead of Roma. That's what we want to see. And we've had 8 shots and 4 of them being on target during the opening exchanges. Nelson comes up from the back, has a little header. That's gone over. I'd dearly love a second goal before half-time. Let's see if we can sling in better delivery here. It is good. Reska, the defensive midfielder, an important player for us, has a header as well. But just like the one from Nelson, it's gone over the bar and we're into half-time. We're only winning 1-0. I think we're going to need a second to announce our arrival to the Lazio faithful. We have indeed told the players that we expect a little bit more from them in the second period. We've had 15 shots now, but only 5 of them on target. That's quite a poor ratio. The XG is good, but so far we haven't really troubled the Brescia goalkeeper. On too many occasions, we've had a number of set plays such as this one, which comes to nothing on this occasion, but Donny van der Beek is going to cross from deep. The ball's going to fall to Gaia now, our left back, who was up taking the corner and was now on the right-hand side. Reska beats a man, plays the ball to Marcella, who plays a 1-2 with our right back. Now can he deliver? He's gone back to Pembele. We're playing patiently around their box. Now we're waiting for a chance for a clear opening on goal, and Pembele gets into the box. We had both of our fullbacks in the opposition area, but Pembele's shot was tame. Now we're coming again. Dakari, the French inverted winger or inside forward. He looks like a good prospect. Been quiet so far today as we blaze another effort over the bar. Maybe we need some reinforcements from the bench to give us a little more impetus. We've got one more highlight before we introduce those new faces. Gaia, at 37 years old, we're going to have to treat him pretty cautiously this season, I think, as we pause our game and we're going to make two changes. I think we're going to get some minutes in the legs of two of our better players. This is going to be our star man, I think. We just need to get him fit after he's had an injury for much of pre-season. So let's bring Zakarian into the side, and I think we're going to play him as an inside forward. I'm going to use him as a central midfielder primarily, but our mate Olivier Deschery has not really had a very good game, so we will rotate him out of the side, and I think Frank Kessie might be the man that we bring on instead, perhaps not to be the attacking midfielder, but if we change him over with Rodriguez, who does like to get forward whenever possible, I think Kessie can come into the side and be our box-to-box midfielder for us for the last 25 minutes of this game. We have another highlight, and it is for us, as we've got an attacking throw-in deep in their half. You can see that Milenkovic is the only player anywhere near the halfway line. Brescia are bringing everybody back to try and keep us at bay in our search for a second goal. Rodriguez now playing a more advanced role, gets it to Kessie, who has a blockbuster of an effort, but unfortunately it's another effort off target. Alexi was another player that we gave a big build-up to, but we've substituted him now as well. He whimpers off the pitch, having scored a 6.4 average rating. The man I think who is impressing me the most is young Rodriguez in midfield. He has looked very dangerous today. And here is Angeluzzi, the man that's come on up front for us, a young 21-year-old Italian. Zakarian, the first time we've seen him since he got involved. And Kessie has another effort. He's looked useful since he came on, but it's another chance that goes begging. A couple minutes more injury time to try and navigate. It's not been the glossy performance I hoped it was. I don't think the Lazio fans will be going home this evening particularly impressed with what they've seen. But we have a few more seconds to try and see out, and at least it will be an opening day victory. We have indeed done that, but I think other teams around Serie A will have impressed the pundits more than we did on our debut with the club. That opening day victory at least gives us a platform to build on, but with sterner tests to come over the next few weeks, we will see you for the Rome derby, and we will show you whereabouts we lie in the league after the first 8 or 9 games.